on
Thank
the
you.
report. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sir.
Over to you, sir, for your opening
Thank
remarks.
you. Thank you very much, esteemed Director of the Nivedi, Dr. B.R. Shom, the CEO of the NAVIC, Dr. Satish, the speaker for today's session, Dr. B.H. Manjunath Patel, my colleague in Academy, Dr. A.M. Ramesh, CEO, and colleagues in NAVIC, Mr. Kaushik, Mr. Patra, and others, and a large number of audience who have joined this morning. Good morning and welcome to all of you. At outset, I would like to thank Dr. B.R. Shom, Director of the Nivedi, and the CEO NAVIC, Dr. Satish Shivchandra, for asking me to be here. I am no chief guest here. I'm a participant. I'm a colleague, just trying to learn things. Again, I'm grateful to Nivedi and NAVIC. With this, I would like to first of all compliment the Director Nivedi and the NAVIC for successfully organizing this very important series of Empower series. Now, as the name indicates, you have really done a great job. A series of talks by experts, not just for knowledge, also for skill development. That was hands-on, practical. Even today's session is going to be like that. So on that count, hearty congratulations. And then Academy, the KSTA is proud to be associated with Nivedi in this task. We are sure, and we hope several youngsters have picked up lessons from this Empower series, and we look forward to a good number of entrepreneurs and agri startups, or whatever we call it, livestock startups to be coming up. Regarding today's session, very important topic, pig farming. You travel to the Northeast, every single state, and not just the ministers, but even the chief ministers, as the first thing they ask for is quality piglets. And it is amazing, even in big meetings, open public meetings, I have heard the chief minister asking us to provide quality piglets. That is the kind of demand. I'd like to just give an example of a good startup here in Karnataka, very near Bangalore, near Mysore in Gundlupet, very specific to be specific. Mr. Sanjit has started a pig farm, not pig farm exactly, pig breeding center. Worth seeing, he has collected material from, I must say, all over the world, in fact, and then he is supplying piglets to several states in the Northeast. So it's been a unique endeavor, and I'm sure many youngsters would like to see that place and follow up. With these words, I won't take more time. I'd like to compliment everybody. Once again, thank Dr. B.R. Shom, Director of the Nivedi, for this opportunity, and wish our audience, particularly in these times of pandemic and in these times of job providers, not job seekers, we are sure the pig, Dr. Patel would bring out all these, the kind of demand and the kind of remunerative farming that pig farming is, there is no parallel. That's what we have seen. And many other things. It's environmentally friendly, several things that happen in recycling, several things that could come up. So once again, compliments to Nivedi, and thank you very much for asking me to be here. Wish you all the very best. And thanks to Nivedi, congratulations on the successful Empower series. Look forward to more series as we go along. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very encouraging words. I'm sure in the days to come, under your guidance, KST and NAVIC Nivedi will be organizing many workshops and seminars for the benefit of young entrepreneurs and students across the country. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Avdesh Prajapati, ICR Nivedi, Bangalore, for introduction of today's distinguished speaker, Dr. B.H. Manjunath Patel, Principal Scientist, IVRI, Bangalore. Over to you, Dr. Avdesh.
Good morning, everyone. It is a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, Dr. Manjunath Patel, sir. Dr. B.H.M. Manjunath Patel, sir, is presently working as a principal scientist in livestock product and management and in charge animal experimental station at Indian Veterinary Research Institute, Bengaluru campus. Dr. Patel is a well-known scientist for the development and characterization and breed registration of Burra pig, and he is the key extension person in the field of the pig farming. Prior to joining the IVRI Bengaluru campus, He was serving at Pantnagar and IBRI Ijatnagar University and has a vast research experience, more than 20 years in the area of the livestock production and management. He has guided more than 9 PG and PhD students. During his career, he also served as in charge of horse unit, piggery unit, sheep and goat farm and swine production unit. He was associated with more than 13 research projects at national and international importance in the livestock production and management area and published more than 80 research papers in national and international journals in the repute. And besides, he also authored more than 3 books. He has been awarded with the Best Teacher, Young Scientist, and Jawaharlal Nehru, and granted with 1 patent. And this is a brief about our eminent speaker. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Manjunath Patel, you would like over to you for your distinguished talk.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Entrepreneurship opportunity.
Oh, I'll share my screen, sir.
Sir, over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Kaushik, is it visible, my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
I'll just one slide, I'll trial. Is it moving?
No, not moving.
Now?
Yeah, it is moving.
Okay. Okay, now is it full screen, sir? Now I can start.
No, it is not full screen, sir.
Is it not full screen, sir?
No, it is not full screen, sir.
Full screen ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
So just click on that lens. Left hand side, sir.
Resolution. I'll share one more time, just 1 minute. That only I pressed. Now is it full screen, sir?
Sir, ಇಲ್ಲ share ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ presentation share ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. Share screen, sir share screen ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲ share entire screen ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟು presentation full screen ಮಾಡಿ. That is easy.
Full screen ಮಾಡಲಾ ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ.
Sir, share screen ಮೇಲೆ click ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ share entire screen ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಈಸಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Share screen ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕೊಡಿ.
ಈಗ ಈಗ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ?
ಈಗ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಓಕೆ. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಸೈಡ್ಸ್ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ಗೆ. ಮೂವ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಈಗ
ಈಗ ಮೂವ್ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಓಕೆ. Okay. So good morning to everyone. Today I'm going to discuss something about the pig farming. In addition to that, I would like to discuss what are the ways and means by which you can make some business venture with respect to pig farming. In the end, also, I would like to discuss how to make banking projects. So with this brief introduction, just I would like to show the content of my talk. First, I would like to touch what are the advantages of pig farming and some negative part of the pig farming, how presently in India pigs are being reared, and also how pig farming can be taken as an enterprise, and some of the frequently asked question on breed, housing, feeding, health, and marketing, which I'm not going to discuss in detail. Very pertinent to today's talk, not going in detail. And lastly, I would like to show how to make banking projects, particularly NABARD, which is a financing agency, how to make banking projects with the help of Excel sheet. I would like to touch upon. Okay, the main crux of our today's presentation is how this pig farming can be ventured as a business activity. And addition to that, how to make banking project. So just to introduce the scenario of pig farming. The moment if you hear the word pig means people think it's something dirty animal. This is what first point. Second point, some people think that this is not related to me. No way it is related to me with respect to either eating habits, nor with respect to the cultural relationship. Many people, they keep it away, this species. However, this is the only species which has been widely consumed by the population throughout the world, actually. If you see the situation in India, earlier it was very much restricted to the lower class people. And with respect to distribution of the pig population, if you see, it was mostly related to the northeastern part and like few states like Jharkhand, Bihar, okay, and southern part. If you come to southern part, it's a Kerala, like that. However, with the time, everything has changed. So this has almost like become like any other, you can say, animal husbandry business venture like poultry. More or less, it's like poultry. Either this particular species, either with the elite people or with the lower class people. Middle class people, they are not much interested in this. If you see the population, so there is a decrement in the population trend. From the previous livestock census, if you see, there is a decrement in the population trend. The reason could be, it's not that people are not interested. You should take it in a positive sense. There is an increment in the demand for the pork. On the other side, there is no sufficient supply in the market. So that's why the people are going for the starting of the whatever the existing population is there. So due to demand, people are trying to use these animals as and when there is a demand in the market. So that's why there is a decrement in the population. And second reason could be the whatever the scavenging system used to see earlier, like in the road side, or you can in the street, or in the outskirts of the cities, wherever you used to see small population of these local breeds, which they no more exist because of rules and regulation made by the this corporation by the different cities. So there is a restriction. So that's why now they have shifted from scavenging system to the intensive system. So these are the two reasons by which the population probably has come down. The decrement of the population due to health is probably the negligible reason. It means that there is still a great demand for the pig population. So this can be taken as a strength rather than the weakness. Okay. Second point is that the source of animal protein, if you take any other species presently, okay, with the stringent rules of this cattle slaughter ban, and with the increment price of the sheep and goat meat, okay, and the flexibility in the rate with respect to poultry, this is gaining a lot of importance with respect to a source of animal protein with the low cost. Okay, so naturally this is going to be one of the alternative meat for the middle class and lower class people. Of course, it is for the elite people. It is always there. Okay, it's a delicious. You can say it is a delicious food for the elite people. However, and for the middle class and lower class, still many people are little away due to some preconceived thoughts. Okay, so however, this can be exploited by the pig industry. Another important issue is that whatever the pig we see, either they are black color or white color. The moment if you see white color, people have somewhat fancy, but if you see black color, people feel little bit reluctant. Okay, so that's mainly due to our indigenous breeds and also due to exotic. Exotic breeds means mostly by and large they are white. Of course, few black are there, but if you see the average yield of the meat by Indian pig, it is only 39 kg. Okay, which is half of the world average. It means that whatever the pig rearing system you are following presently are mostly reared by the low input. So that's why the growth of these animals are very less. That's why still the demand which is there in the market, we are not able to fulfill it. And pig contributes 10% of the total meat contribution. It's a considerably good amount. This is about the scenario of the pig farming in India. Now, if you see why pig farming only, why not other species? Of course, when you talk about sheep and goat, we talk about always advantages of sheep rearing and goat rearing. Similarly, pig has got its own uniqueness. Okay, since it's being a meat animal. Okay, on the other end, if you see the prolificity. Okay, prolificity means the number of giving birth to young ones. Okay, in this animal, it is as lowest as 7 animals, it as highest as 12 animals. Means it is relatively high, and the gestation period is 112 to 160 days, which is lower among all the other domesticated species like sheep, goat, and other meat animals. and the growth is very fast. It all depends upon the how you feed it. Okay. In addition to the litter size means number of animals born to the pig in each farrowing or each delivery. The growth, if you take, if you properly feed these animals, you can very well expect 1 quintal in 10 months. It's really a great thing. So that's why we call it as the FCR, feed conversion ratio. That is, we call it as 1:4. Means by offering 4 kg, you can get the 1 kg live weight. However, it is highly subject to ratio, because if you don't provide good ration, naturally you don't expect this much good FCR. However, this can be achieved only if you provide a good quality ration. Again, I tell you one more point here is that pig is an omnivorous, means you can rear them either on the vegetarian food or on the non-vegetarian food, or blending of both vegetarian and non-vegetarian. So it's being omnivorous. Practically, it eats anything and everything. Its only thing is that how judiciously you add protein and energy source at right time and right stage. Then only you can exploit this growth. Otherwise, simply if you add anything, whatever you like and whatever availability is there, then you may not get this much good, what you can see, FCR ratio in this species. Dressing percentage. Dressing percent means when you slaughter the animal, how much meat ultimately you get it. That we call it as a dressing. So it can vary from 65 to 75%. If you can take sheep and goat, it's 50, maximum 55. So here it may go up to 80% also, depending upon the edible part in the different region. In some regions, some of the parts which we consider as inedible are edible in the other parts like northeastern part. Okay. So this is also in the very higher side. Pig fat, when you slaughter them, you get good amount of fat, because mostly these animals are raised by the kitchen waste. So naturally good amount of fat is being harvested during the slaughter. That also they separate it and they send it to the, what you can say, the industry, which is mostly for the paint industry. Okay. Pig feces, of course, there is a one advantage or disadvantage. If you go with the calorific value of the feces, it is very high, but due to smell, people are not using this manure as a good manure for the agriculture purpose, unlike like sheep and goat and cat. Okay. However, this has got good manure value. This pig farming fit into the integrated farming. You can have this pig farming and blend with any other integrated farming like fish or duck. Okay. These are the main advantages of pig farming. Okay. If you take on the other hand, as I told you in the beginning itself, this animal practically can eat anything and everything. But as on today, there is nothing like waste in the market. Everything is used by one or other species or one or other industries. Once we called as a, once upon a time we used to call it as a one byproduct as a waste. Now today it's being used by the another industry. So that's why whatever you want to feed to these animals, practically it has to be purchased. Okay. Like I'll take the example of mealie, or you can say jaggery preparation. When they do, there is one byproduct called mealie. Okay. So that is to be disposed as a waste material, and the pig owner used to take it and they used to offer to their pig. But nowadays, for their purpose also, you have to pay some amount. Kitchen waste, once upon a time, it was a huge menace for the hotel owners, but now it is also being sold with some cost. So now nothing is available for the free. Okay. So that's why, since it is being a good FCR animals, you cannot keep these animals on the low caloric feed. So it has to be fed with one or other feed. Unlike sheep and goat, cattle, where if you don't have a ration or what you call it as a concentrate, you can take them for the grazing purpose, where you need to spend any amount. But here, these pigs has to be reared and kept in the room. So naturally, feed what you get is a direct competitor for the human food, because whatever the ingredients you are using is mostly used by the human beings. Difficult to spare even the poor quality foods for the pigs. So this is the situation in case of cities. Okay. So this is regarding the advantages and disadvantages of the pig farming. Now let us see the actual scenario of pig production system in India. Okay. Everything has changed now. Like earlier, it used to be a typical scavenging system. I would like to just read out for all the 5 systems. Scavenging system, semi-intensive or semi-extensive system, small-scale indoor housing system, intensive system, and integrated. I will explain one by one. Scavenging system or extensive system, which is almost outdated now. Okay, of course, it is there in the tribal belt, in the northeastern belt. Okay, still it is not so predominantly visible as you used to see earlier. Okay. So now this cannot be taken as a business venture. Small scale indoor housing, wherein we keep the 3 pig, 4 pig, okay, in the backyard of the house, where you don't let loose these animals outside. Only they will be within the small shed, and whatever the leftover is leftover in the house, okay, you will boil it or you will feed them as a raw material, which is most predominant in the tribal belt of all the northeastern region, including Jharkhand and Bihar. We call it as a small scale indoor housing. This is also not a practical, but semi-intensive, semi-extensive. This is blending of extensive and intensive, where you have to construct a small infrastructure for the staying of these animals during the off weather. Okay, this is again found only in the peri-urban area or in the outskirts of the city. Intensive system, now it is more popular. Okay, where practically we provide a proper housing system. You will keep them in the house 24/7, and we'll offer them feed and fodder then and there itself. Okay, this is intensive system where we can consider it as basically a business venture. Integrated farming, of course, integrated means integration of one system with the another system, wherein piggery farm is being established adjacent to the what you can say fish pond, and we can keep the ducks in addition to fish. So there is a proper integration should be there, like the ratio of pig and the size of the pond. It should be properly integrated. If you don't integrate properly, then there is a possibility of pollution of the pond. It leads to another complication. That's why there is proper knowledge is required when you want to establish the integrated farming. Okay, so this is again a type of additional business. In addition to piggery, you need to have a knowledge on the fish as well as the duck. Then only this can be taken as a business venture. Okay, so now these are the 5 systems by which you can rear the pig. So now when it comes to as a business venture, okay, so now I have listed out here. So what is your purpose? Whatever the farm you're going to make it, pig farm, like what the farmer DG sir also told that the one of the owner Abhishek, who has opened the farm solely for the to sell only the good breeds, what we call it is a breeder farm. Okay, so here if you want to become the owner of the farm, whether it is for the good breed purpose or you want to open it for the pork purpose, okay, or you want to make some byproducts, then you want to dispose it. First, you have to decide where you fit into the system. Simply, if you want to open as a farm only for the breed purpose, you need to have a little more knowledge. Okay, for commercial venture means anything is fine. Okay, byproducts again you need to have additional knowledge. So, on the other end, we can also become a middleman without making any infrastructure. Okay, here farm owner means you need to have a pig farm. You need to have established a pig farm. Okay, then you need to have the knowledge on the pig. Here, as a middleman, if you want to explore, okay, either you can sell, because the one who is the owner of the farm probably may not be interested to explore the other farm because he is so busy with only maintaining of the animals. If you become middleman, you can work out wherever the animals are available with a low price, and you can purchase or you can book, and you can dispose to another place where there is a great demand. Okay. Similarly, you can think of sale and purchase of the product, byproducts very specifically. Okay. So someone is already has explored the preparation of byproduct, we can make a brand and you can dispose. This is also possible. The last one is as a transport. This is another big venture where many people, they purchase or book the animal from the both end. There is a great demand in the Dimapur or Guwahati or in the Jharkhand. First, you will export from there, from the another middleman, and you will give the target that I need 3,000 animals in the end of August. Then here a person from the Karnataka will explore all the piggery farm, and either you will book a truck or you will book a railway wagon and you will transport from. This is also another big business, but you need to have a lot of contact, as it has to travel through different states, need to have a license at the different states. Okay, so these are the different opportunities when it comes to fig farming. Only the situation is where you want to fit. Okay, whether you want to fit into this farm or that farm. So just I will give the brief information. What if you become a owner of the breeder farm? Okay, suppose if you think that I want to open a farm wherein I want to maintain the elite breeds. Breeds could be Landrace, Yorkshire, Berkshire, Duroc, Tambo, whatever it may be. That depending upon the quality of the breed you are going to maintain. So you are going to decide the farm. Okay, once you decide the breeder farm, you need to maintain some sire line, breeding line. Okay, unless if you maintain that breeding line, the quality of the progeny will not be maintained or sustained. Okay, so that's why you need to have a knowledge on the breeding system. And second point is that, so you need to change the male every now and then in order to maintain the, prevent the inbreeding within the farm. Okay, so then you may have to have a good quality germplasm, and which you may have to get from the other farm, or you may have to import. Okay, so nowadays importing animals is also not possible. So nowadays the frozen semen is available, and you can import the frozen semen, and you can inseminate your parent stock, and you can get the young one. What I mean to say is that if at all, if you think for the good breeder farm, you need to have a good knowledge on the breeding system, or you can say the breeding methods. Okay. Suppose these are the different bore line. Bore line means, suppose if you want to open a farm where I want to maintain a pure landrace line, so then I need to have a landrace breeding line. Okay. If I want to maintain a Berkshire, which is a black in color, then we need to maintain the pure parent stock in our farm. From the progenies, whatever you get it, so then you can dispose to the farm. Okay. So ultimately, it needs a lot of knowledge. So if you want to maintain that inbreeding coefficient in your farm, and if you want to avoid the inbreeding problem in your farm, then you have to use some scientific methods, either by collecting the semen from the elite boar, then you inseminate to the elite females, so that with a single boar, you will get the good number of progenies with the available female. Otherwise, in order to get good number of progenies, you need to have a good number of boars, which is again a practical problem. Okay, there is a limitation of breeding. Okay, so once you go for the breeding, then pregnancy detection at the right time and getting the maximum litter, because whenever you get a good number of litter size, then there is a possibility of piglet mortality. They're directly related. So that's why your farm should have an infrastructure for these things. And you need to have a good housing system, because you cannot make jugaad in the farm where we generally do it for the commercial farms, where we rear them for the meat purpose. Here you need to have a proper boar shed, farrowing shed, okay, gilt shed, pregnant shed, weaner shed. So then only there is a less possibility of okay, what you can say, mixing of the stock. Otherwise, if there is a jumping of one male from another female pen, and if there is a mating, then whole program will spoil. So that's why you need to have a good infrastructure. When you think for the pork purpose, means simply you want to rear these animals only for the pork purpose, whatever you want to keep animals, irrespective of breed, if there is a good weight in the end of the year, it's fine. Nobody will mind whether it's a black color, it's a crossbred, whether it is a white color. Okay. Only you need to have a proper outlet, or you need to have a proper, what you can say, the end user outlet. Okay. So either you can think of retail outlet by yourself, or telephonic marketing, or a linking with a good hotel, or home delivery. Because in many of the metropolitan cities, people avoid purchasing directly from the stalls. If you have a good network, and if you order online, probably people don't mind to order pork. Otherwise, a little bit people are hesitant to get from the directly pork stall. Okay. So when you think of commercial farms, then here you need to you have to work a little bit hard. Okay. When it comes to pig never mind for this space. If you provide a proper food at right time, it eats and it sleeps. Space is not a constraint. Okay. But only thing is that since it's an omnivorous animals, if you provide a poor quality feed, it will give the poor body weight. If you provide a good this what you can say the feed, then it will give the good growth. Okay, it depends upon you. Suppose if you think that by end of December there is a great demand for the pork, and you need to provide around 50 ton of pig. Generally, they don't use the word number of pigs. They use the this much ton of meat I required, pork I required. Okay. So if you want like that in a great hurry, you want to, then you have to go for the proper concentrate feeding. Then you cannot think of feeding the kitchen waste. Or other end, if you think that your demand is very less and you are not in an urgency, then you can think of offering the all unconventional feed and fodders like kitchen waste or hotel waste, chicken off, or the slaughter offals, okay, vegetable mandi waste, anything you can think, so that animal will eat, the growth is again accordingly. So there will be a low growth. So again, you don't have any target in a short time, no need to provide a good number of pig. So that's why. Another part is that all in, all out. So you think that by Diwali or by Yugadi or any other festival, you think that there is a demand. So prior to that, for 6 months earlier, you'll procure piglet from the different farms. Okay. Then you'll put it in your shed. Then you offer. Okay. There is no breeding at all. Simply get piglet from the other farm. You rear them till the marketing age. Then just simply wind up. So either all formality, low input, low growth, high input, high growth, or you can think of procuring piglets from another farm, you grow them, dispose them, or you can bring male, female, let them mate as and when wish. Okay, there is no breeding plan in the commercial farm. Here, there is no much energy is involved in the breeding plan. Only your energy is wasted towards the procurement of the feed. Okay. However, on the other hand, people may prefer for the lean meat or backfed meat. Okay, so that's only one advanced stage. Still, people have not reached to that extent. Like in the Western countries, they think of this having the lean meat, but here that concept is not there. So you can also think of making the pork byproducts. Those people who may not be interested in making the direct, what you can say, recipes using the pork, people also may use the byproducts like sausage, or ham, whatever. These are all products made in the Karnataka. Okay, so even there are many outlets are there exclusively they are what you can say selling only the pork byproducts. Okay, so like that, this is another venture, but only thing is that it needs contact and money. Okay, so if you think of middleman role, okay, then it need lot of what you can say contact. Okay, someone has to be having good contact or liaison with the different type of people, which I don't want to tell here. So here you can have your own vehicle. So nowadays, this having a truck exclusively for the transportation itself is in business. Okay, another person who is exclusively going for the visiting the farm and trying to explore the low cost piglets. So this is another venture you can think of. So these are the opportunities which you can explore in the pig farming. So those who are already well within the pig farming system probably are acquainted with many of the issues. But still one who is new to the pig farming, just I would like to clarify some common myths or you can say questions. Okay, one is pig is a dirty animal. Okay, due to smell. Whenever you get into the farm, everybody feels that there is a smell. But with the nature of the animal, okay, it is considered to be one of the cleanest animal among the domestic animal. Why means this animal defecates in a particular place in a particular time. So this is the uniqueness, provided if you provide a sufficient space. Okay. Otherwise, the smell which you get in the pig farm is mainly due to hydrogen sulfide and ammonia concentration, which is more in case of pig feces, not by virtue of the animal. Okay. But if you allow these animals to defecate in a particular place, so naturally they have a tendency, like that's why when you see the pig farms, you might see that there is an open space wherein the pig come outside, they defecate in the corner of the wall. Okay, they never do inside if there is a sufficient space. Okay, but if you make such open area, the cost involved on the housing is very, very high. It gets doubled. Okay, so nowadays that's why people are avoiding open space. So when they avoid open space, naturally the defecation has to be done by the animal well within the indoor system. Naturally, it leads to ugliness. Okay, it needs repeated cleaning. Otherwise, you can think of making the like small corner toilet area, which you have done at IVRA. An example is a part of MAs. So once you provide small corners, so these animals defecate in a particular place. So all the time it keeps the body dry. Okay, so that's why it's considered to be a clean animal. Another is pig needs less investment. Earlier it used to be like that only, because whatever the shed he has on the back end of his house or wherever he has some space, he used to keep those animals. But when it comes to commercial venture, this jugaad cannot sustain because these animals are very, very sturdy. Simply, if you want to keep these animals on the infrastructure like bamboo and all, few animals is fine, 3 animals, 2 animals. But when you want to keep good number of animals, so making a temporary infrastructure may not work. So it needs a concretization, because this animal has a rooting behavior. Rooting behavior means it keeps on digging the floor space. Okay, so if you allow it to rear in this mud floor, means it will spoil all the shed, including it will try to remove the wall also. So that's why the pig needs less investment. Probably may not be a good statement, at least for the business venture. Okay, it needs a proper infrastructure, if at all, if you want to make a good pig farming. Next, pig farming is highly profitable. It is a really relative question, because the moment if you get 10 animals, 10 females and 2 male, maybe by the end of animals, with your what you can say logical question, a logical calculation, like each female, so 10 piglets, so 10 females, 100 piglets, 2 times, so 200 piglets. Naturally, you will expect, okay, hypothetically. But when it comes to large farms, the probably all the 10 piglets may not survive. There will be death, okay, there will be other problems. So then there is a feeding problem. So that's why that hypothetical calculating the piglet number by the year of end, though it looks fine, but the expenditure put on even rearing of those piglets also, it is very huge. So that's why, if at all, if you think that it's highly profitable, then you need to have some input in the form of action like kitchen waste, vegetable mandi waste, or rice polish. If at all, if your farm is located in the sugarcane belt, you may get the mealie. If you're in the rice belt, then you may get rice bran or rice polish at low cost. So in that situation, probably pig farming could be a highly profitable business. Otherwise, if at all, if you want to spare your exclusively time, you want to spare on the pig farming and you want to purchase everything, and then if you try to keep all your accountability, then it may not be a right statement. Okay, it's a relatively what you can say the situation based. Okay, so that's why, as I told in the beginning, if your farm is very big, then actually piglet mortality will be very high. Okay, and also there will be a fast growth, but fast growth at the same time there will be diseases. If there is any disease in the farm, it spreads very quickly. Since your animals are very heavy, so there will be frequent hoof problem will be there. Due to lameness, you may have to dispose the animals at low cost. Okay, so there is a inversely proportional. So if you have a good farm, good input is required. So that's why this word profitable is always a relative. How best you will explore with the low cost feed, it will decide the profit of the farm. Next is marketing problem in pigs. Yes or no? Of course, certainly there is a marketing problem in the pig. If you have a good liaison, so naturally it may not be a problem. So nowadays, by and large, in every state, they have made a good WhatsApp group, and there is a good liaison. They have made FPO also. So they, as and when they have 100 animals for the slaughter or purchase, immediately they put in the WhatsApp group. So thereby, there is a with good mutual understanding, even they fix the price. If there is a such understanding, naturally marketing may not be an issue. Even if you take in Karnataka itself, there is a big group is there, WhatsApp group, where even they discuss about the modalities, how to procure kitchen waste, hotel waste through the permission of BBMPA. Okay, how to dispose this pig offals. So these discussions are being made in the WhatsApp. So that's why marketing may not be a so what you can say problematic. However, nobody wants to give the idea or tips about the market, because everybody wants to earn the money. So that's why it is all your intellectual regarding the marketing. Nobody wants to discuss on the market. So that's why you have to make your own direct contact in the local area, good liaison with the middleman, other farms, shop owners, even outside the state. So then only it's possible. Next, nowadays, as I told you, northeastern state, if at all the one pig has to be reared in the northeastern state, okay, in a given situation, the cost of the input is very, very high. What we get maize here, the cost is almost 1.5 times. So naturally, for him, rearing a pig out there is more costly than procuring a pig from the Karnataka or southern part. So that's why. So nowadays, pigs are being procured from the southern state and being supplied to Jharkhand and northeastern state. Okay, and the railway has also given a proper provision for booking this transportation even for the pig also. They can book a big wagon and we can transport directly till to the Assam or Dimapur. Okay, that provision is there. So many middlemen are there. Even exclusively transportation roads are there. If it's only crossing of 2-3 states, even truck also. Okay, this is an exclusive truck meant for the pig. There is a space for the storage of feed. There is a watering system inside the truck. There is a loading system inside the truck. Okay, so this is exclusive. This load is truck is exclusively meant for transporting a pig for more than 2,000 kilometers. Okay, so such provision is also there. Now, after knowing the system of pig rearing and after knowing the advantages of pig rearing and the opportunities, okay, now you are in a position where you have to decide by yourself, okay, whether you want to open a pig farm in the new building. First, you have to decide whether you want to make a modification in the existing infrastructure. Earlier, you might have opened the poultry farm, now you want to modify it, or you had a sheep and goat farm, now you want to convert it to a pig farm. So that you have to decide. Strength, whether you want to open a small farm, like with the smallest farm is commercial farm is 10 female and 2 male. Okay, the medium would be 50 female and 4 male. The larger could be 100. Okay, so and you whatever farm you want to open is for the meat purpose or the breed purpose, which you have to decide. The duration, whether it's on the continuous basis or seasonal basis, so that again you have to decide. Marketing, as I told you, you go from the back end. So depending upon your local requirement or your liaison, you decide what and where you fit into that. So that's why decision should be yours. it is a typical commercial venture, just like a broiler farming. Once you go further, you cannot come back so easily. You will be under great loss, because this pig farm is such a situation it will create. Sometimes you become helpless, because you have 50 animals at one time. If you think that you don't have money to offer these animals, suddenly after 3 days, your 1 quintal animal will become 80 kg. This is the problem with this pig farm. Okay, so that's why you have to be have a buffer amount to sustain for few more days, even if there is a no market for your pigs. Sometimes so happens that you have 100 animals, 1 quintal. After that, even if you offer a good quality, they don't increase the body weight. So naturally, you will be under the loss. So you have to work out accordingly. So this is about the opportunities. Okay, now to some extent, scientific part of the pig farming, just I would like to give a brief info, not in detail, because many will be aware of it. So these are the 4 pillars of the pig farm. One is breed, another is housing, third is nutrition and health. I'll touch briefly on each part. Exotic breeds. Okay, so people, although there are no fancy for the color of the breed, except few states, maybe tribal belt like Jharkhand, they are liking for the black breeds. That's why Berkshire and Hampshire, they are more popular. Even to some extent, Durack, which is golden in color, you can see the bottom right side. So this is Durack. So some people, they have a liking for that, what you can say, particular color. Otherwise, by and large, white breeds, they are Landrace and Yorkshire. So these are the 4-5 breeds are very common in India. One advantage with these breeds are there, like unless other species like cattle, you cannot have a pure HF, pure Jersey, because of the climate. Similarly, sheep and goat also the same situation. In case of pig, if you wish, you can maintain even the pure line, provided if you give all input. Okay, it may not be sold. However, the performance will not be the same of the pure breed after 5 years or 6 years. Gradually, the performance comes down. Okay, so that's why at different centers under the All India Coordinated Research Project, ASAP, so it has been asked to develop their own crossbred suitable to the local areas. Okay, so like that, by maintaining different breed line with using the local breeds, different breeds have been developed at different institutes. Okay, so like in Ranchi, T&D breed is there. Okay, in Manuti, different breeds. Ivera, Landly, we have developed. So Tanvasi, they've got own breeds. So these are basically a blending of exotic breeds with the local breeds. Means you can take the advantage of exotic line as well as the local line, which is a disease resistant, and also what you can say lean meat. Okay, so you need to have a little knowledge on the breeding, if at all, if you want to open for the breeding purpose. Okay, so for that, whenever you want to open a good farm with respect to good what you can say breed, then first you have to decide which breed is suitable, whether it's a Landrace, Yorkshire, Durack, or Berkshire. That you have to decide by yourself. Okay, if at all you want to make a crossbreeding, then again you need to maintain both the breeds, both both the Landrace or Durack, and in the local breed. So then only you need to have a get the progenies of the F1 of the crossbreeding. Okay, so this is regarding the breeds. Regarding the housing, as I told you in the beginning, these animals exhibit strong rooting behavior. So you cannot have a good commercial farm with the kacha floor and kacha building. Okay, so you need to have a proper infrastructure so that there is a less mortality, there is a less disease, and also a mechanization can be done in the pig farm. Okay, so that's why. So you need to know that what type of farm you are going to open. As I told in the beginning, so the earlier concept was to have like open and as a covered area. You can see this side view of the building. So there will be open paddock, there will be a covered area. Okay, but nowadays this concept is almost outdated. So only they are going for the commercial buildings where there is only covered area. Only there is a covered area where we need to put little energy in cleaning the shed twice daily, thrice daily, depending upon the situation. Okay, so that's why open and covered area what used to provide is not, almost you can say, outdated. So covered area is sufficient. Next question comes whether you want to have a single row, double row, one building or more building. One building means within the one building you will have a male, female, small, pregnant, non-pregnant, you want to keep it. Otherwise, you can have a one building exclusively for the male, one building exclusively for the pregnant, advanced pregnant animals, one is exclusively for the Venus, like that. So it depends upon the whatever farm you are going to open. Manual or mechanization, because these farms constitute to be as intensive farms. Okay, in the short period you will have a good number of animals. So Even feeding these animals, you can do mechanization. So even cleaning of these farms can be do mechanization. What type of farm you want? You can see the buildings of both. Both are from the Karnataka only. So here one is elevated floor system, wherein the cleaning, as and when you clean, everything falls down. Okay, so all the time you don't see the feces well within the shed on the floor. Okay, on the other side, left side, you can see the say a solid floor where you need to have a cleaning frequently. Okay, this is a typical side view of the building. So few examples. This is a layout. Okay, just for the sake of presentation. So I have given. Suppose if at all if you want to open a pig farm with 12 or 10 females and 2 male. So you can see this. What you can see the structure on the left side. So there is a space for the male. There is a space for the pregnant. There is a space for the non-pregnant, weaners, growers, and also finishers. Okay, and also one store for the feed purpose. And this is the measurement, floor space measurement. Okay, but only thing is that the infrastructure we are going to create is only once. It cannot be changed again and again. So that's why we need to have a proper planning. So means if you try to compromise the number of pens within the piggery farm, so later you will suffer. Suppose you have a 3 pregnant female and on the same month they're going to deliver. Okay, so, but you have only 2 farrowing pen. One where you want to keep it. So if you want to keep it in some other pen, so there will be a death of piglets due to stampede. Okay, so that's why you need to have a proper planning well within the building as well. Okay, so this is a one picture showing that with the existing infrastructure they have modified. For commercial, for meat purpose is fine, but it's not for the meat farm. This is, you can say, single building. Okay, but within the building there are different pens where you can keep male, female, and pregnant, but single row, 1 walking spaces. Okay, this also can be done, but only for the small farms. This is another building where there is an open area, covered area, but different pens. This is another farm, ranchi farm, so where you have an open space. Here in the government farm, one building, whole building is exclusively meant for male, whole building is exclusively meant for female, because it's a very big farm. You can also think of these type of farms if you have a plan for the very big commercial venture. Okay, this is a small scale, or you can say medium, where you don't provide anything basically. You don't provide what you can say manger or space for the feeding purpose. You will put it on the floor, they will eat, they will happy. Okay, and there is on the corner there is a small pen where you will offer the water, they will drink, they are happy. Okay, nothing is there. This is as simple as possible. This also think of, you can think for the a commercial what you can say pig farm. Okay, here you can see that 2-row system with 1 common passage without any open paddock. On the left side, you can think single row with open paddock. So there are so many ways and means by which you can construct the house. If you try to keep a bigger farm, naturally the cost involved on the construction of the building will be very high. But in the later stage, you will be happy because there is a liberty of modification. There is a easy to clean, easy to maintain. But if you have a congested farm, so whenever there is a disease outbreak, whenever there is a biosecurity issues, you will end up with a lot of complications. Sometimes you need to wind up the farm. Okay, such situation will arise, particularly when the disease like swine fever, when it comes, so then it's a problem. When the disease called PRS comes, then you will be in the very difficult.
Kaushik,
there was a small internet glitch.
Oh,
We are just fixing it. The person will
no
be
problem. problem. Okay.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಸರ್ ಅವರಷ್ಟೇ. Dear participants, please bear with us. Just a small glitch in the presentation. It will be sorted out in 1 minute. The person is going to present in some time. ಪಟೇಲ್ ಸರ್ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಇದನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಲಾ?
ಹಾ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಶೇರ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
ಶೇರ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್, ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸರ್ ಇದು ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಫುಲ್
ಈಗ
ಹಾ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ಅದೇ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗೆ
ಓಕೆ,
ಬಂತು.
ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಓಕೆನಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಓಕೆತಾ?
ಹಾ, ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲೇ ಇದನ್ನೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್
Okay,
ಮಾಡ್ತಾ
fine.
ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್.
Okay, sorry for interruption. Just I would like to continue.
ಸರ್ ಇದೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಈ ತರ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಹೆಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಮೊದಲು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಹಂಗೆ ಆಗಿತ್ತು.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ
full screen ಬಂತು ನಿಮ್ದು.
So click on that lens part, left hand side. Or
ಸರ್
on the
ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ
screen.
ಒಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್. ಇದು
ಇಲ್ಲ,
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ
ನಾನು
ಕೆಳಗಡೆ
ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ಹೋಗಿ ಇದು ಶೇರ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕೊಡಿ, ಅವಾಗ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಸೈಡ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಡಬೇಕು ಫಸ್ಟ್.
ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಸರ್, ಟಿವಿ. So there is a visibility problem. TV something it shows, laptop something it shows. That is the problem it is creating.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
So just I'm changing.
ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್.
Now okay? Now okay?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇನ್ನು ಅದೇ ಸೇಮ್ ಅದೇ ತರ ಇದೆ.
ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನು.
ಸರ್ ಶೇರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
Share screen ಮಾಡಿದೆ. Share screen
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ನೀವು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಸರ್ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ಸರ್ ನಾವು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್?
ಸರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್
ಮಾಡಿ.
ಹಾ, ಎನೇಬಲ್ ಎಡಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಮಾಡಿ.
Just
43.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಕಾಣ ಸರ್.
ಹೋಗಿ ಅದು ಇವ್ರದಕ್ಕೆ
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ರಾ? ಓಕೆ.
Yes. Okay.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
So I was next. Okay. I was discussing about the roof material. As I was telling you, this animal is a poor thermoregulation mechanism. So you need to have a proper alternative thermoregulation, what you can say, a management system by which you can take care of the cooling of these animals. Okay, either by provision of sprinklers or by splashing of water like that. Next slide, please. Okay, so when it comes to floor, so either you can think of stones or you can think of concrete, but there cannot be an option of kacha floors. Once there is a concept of provision of kacha floors in the fig farm, thinking that since it exhibits typical rooting behavior, it is very much necessary. With this, the instinct, if you go, yes, of course it is necessary, but when you think of commercial way, so one cannot think of having this kacha floor in the farm. Okay, so you need to have a proper concrete floor, which not only helps in cleanness, but also helps in the proper management system. Next slide. So water source. So already in the beginning itself, I made it clear that this particularly pig farming does not involve labor continuously. This is one greatest advantage compared to sheep farm, goat farm, or dairy farm. So you have to spend time for the cleaning once for the feeding. Okay, so like that, if you do it 2 times per day, there is no other work, provided if you have a sufficient water. If you don't have water, it's very headache. So that's why water source is an important issue in the pig farm, if at all, if you want to maintain the cleanliness. If you think that you have sufficient water and if you have a provision of groundwater, then you can think of all conventional method of cleaning, conventional method of washing, okay, everything. But if you think that you don't have a proper water source, or you need to have a stringent water management, then you need to provide some alternative method like this water drinker, okay, nippler system, which is well adapted in the commercial farms. Even the average poor farm also think of having this water nipples or automatic water drinker in the pig farm, or else the water which you provide in the manger, because these animals, they enjoy wallowing. Wallowing means simply lying down in the water. This animals has that instinct. When you provide a small corner pen with water, naturally they go and lie down, by which they spoil the water. So you have to make some alternate arrangement to prevent these water trough with some rods and all. So then only you can prevent the wastage of water. Otherwise, it is again a problem with respect to cleanliness. Next slide, please. Drainage system. So there was a time, even if you think of 10 years back, so even many people, neighbors have objected opening the pig farm even in their own agricultural land, thinking that whatever the drainage water comes out of the pig farm will go to another agricultural field. It creates foul smelling, okay, it creates unnecessary nuisance to the neighboring area. Okay, many people have objected, many people have largely complained in the police station, but no one can object by opening a pig farm. However, you need to handle this drainage water or wastage water, which cleaned water from the piggery farm. So if at all, if you want to use or handle this wastage properly, then you need to have a proper drainage. Try to make drainage outside the building rather than having drainage inside the building. Then after collection of this water drainage in the pit, then that overflowing can be used for the agriculture, and the sediment can be used as a manure. Then only the smell can be reduced, and the this biological value of the manure can be explored, and you can think of even selling that manure. Otherwise, if you allow that drainage, or what you can say, the clean water, or you can say waste water, into the directly agriculture field, it is not only create nuisance to the neighbor as well as to yourself. Okay, so that's why proper handling of that piggery waste, it requires a proper drainage. Next, the loading system, because frequently animal has to be loaded from the piggery farm. Okay, so many a times when they load these 100 animals, 150 animals, they keep on putting these pig farms, small weighing 10 kg, 20 kg, 30 kg is fine. Whenever you want to load an animal weighing 100 kg, so then they try to put the animal directly into the truck. Naturally, when they travel more than 100 kilometers, there will be death of these animals. Okay, so that's why you need to have a proper loading ramp. Next, please. So next, frequently asked question on the feeding, like the whole energy, whole knowledge, whatever the money saving approach if you want to make, is only lies with the feeding, because infrastructure is only once, but the feeding of the pig is every day. So that's why don't have a notion that the feeding of pig is very easy. People who have solely fed on the what you can say, kitchen waste, probably they are not the successful pig farmers. If he has got his own hotel, it is fine. If he has got his own outlet, it's fine. Okay. So otherwise, solely feeding on the kitchen waste and maintaining a pig farm and thinking of the commercial venture is not at all possible. Okay. So on the other end, having the good elite stock and feeding only on the concentrate ration. Concentrate means where feed will cost more than 18 rupees, 20 rupees. And you think that each pig will eat around 2 to 2.5 kg. And you have 100 animals, you think of daily. So it is a huge cost. Okay. It's not like dairy animals where you have 10 animals, the rest of the times on the grazing. These animals needs feed. If you don't provide feed, then actually there is a direct consequence on the body weight. So either end, either feeding solely on the kitchen waste or solely on the concentrate is not desirable. Better blending, what you can say, with the concentrate and kitchen waste, there are some thumb rules like 50-50, 70-30, depending upon the quality of the kitchen waste and depending upon the concentrate you're going to offer. You have to blend scientifically, because one kitchen waste or 1 kg concentrate or ration, what we call it as Pashu Ahar, is equal to 3 kg of kitchen waste. So you need, if you want to replace 1 kg of concentrate, you need to, what you can say, provide 3 kg of kitchen waste. Okay. So that's why you need to work. It's not that like 1 kg with kitchen waste, 1 kg concentrate. No. So naturally it will affect the performance. Similarly, vegetable waste. So many people explore this vegetable also. It is possible pig will eat. There is no, since you offer raw kitchen waste, the digestibility of the kitchen waste, they eat, happily they eat, they enjoy it. Okay. There are no negative consequence, but you don't get the desirable body weight. So that's why whenever you want to offer kitchen waste, then it requires little bit of semi-boiling. Okay. Industrial waste, it could be a industrial waste like breweries waste, where there is a beer factory is there, there is a 2 outputs are there, we can explore it. Where there is a geography waste, you can explore it. Where there is a sugarcane industry, we can explore it. So like that, industrial waste also can be explored, provided if you have a proper knowledge on that one. Okay. Randomly feeding these animals does not make any sense. Okay. Next, please. Next, please. Next slide. Okay. So as I told you in the beginning itself, suppose if at all, if you want to depend on only concentrate, then you need a little bit of mechanization. Like some people, what they do, simply they put it on the floor, they allow that piglets to eat it. It may not work out properly. Okay. There will be wastage of feed. As I told you, 100 grams in each shade, if there is a 10 shade, 1 kg, and it is equal to 20 rupees. So you need to have a proper arrangement for even offering the concentrate also. There is a concept of wet feeding. There was a concept where by mixing with the water and allowing it to get wet for a few hours, then offering pig also. Of course, pig enjoys. There is a less wastage of feed. On the other end, if that pig does not eat, then that feed cannot be kept for the next day. So that's why, again, there is another problem. So dry feeding goes excellent with the pig for him. There is no harm in feeding the dry waste. Single time advice. Single time, because these animals is a omnivorous animals. It settles very quickly. If you offer full stomach in the morning, that itself will take care. No need to offer 2 times. Okay. But if you offer 2 times, there is no harm. Okay. So these are some feeder what people are making on their own. Okay. Even some persons are making exclusively this preparation of feeder for the pig purpose only. Okay? This is a localate who is preparing this one. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, kitchen waste, as I told you, they're procuring large quantity of kitchen waste from the different hotels. Getting earlier is not the same situation today, because everybody is cautious about the wastage of food. So there people put little bit of what you can say concern showed on the waste, hotel waste also. Okay, but when you get this hotel waste which is unsorted, okay, unsorted means there will be polythene also, there will be chamach also. Okay, there will be plastic materials also. What you can say, use your disposable spoons also. If you offer these animals, then it creates a lot of nuisance. Okay, so that's why it requires sorting of this kitchen waste when you procure from the hotel. Then remove the unwanted, what you can say, digestible materials or non-chewable materials. Then offer to the pig. Blending of this kitchen waste, because you are getting from the 3-4 sources. In one source, it may be non-vegetarian, some sources. So when you try to put, then pigs are choosy. They will try to eat first liquid, then this thing. Okay. So that's why it has to be mixed properly. Next slide, please. So that requires blending. Next slide. Okay, so when you bring this kitchen waste from the different sources, so first you have to blend it properly, okay, in order to make a uniform growth in the pig farm. So it needs a type of mixing of this kitchen waste. Okay, even in Western countries, the offering this what you can say swill or what kitchen waste what you can directly to the pig is not allowed. It requires boiling. But if you're getting a fresh one, like previous leftover, if you're offering in the morning leftover, if you're offering in the evening, it's fine. Okay. But it requires a little bit of sorting out. Even if there is a little bit spoiled feed, the whole situation will create a lot of food poisoning. Okay. On the right hand, you can see that there is a feed kitchen waste mixing device which has been prepared by the farmer himself. Okay. So this can be explored. Next slide, please. So as I told you in the beginning, so if you solely kitchen waste feeding will not give the desirable growth. Probably if you go for 50-50 or 70% kitchen waste and 30% concentrate with some supplement, because this animal is an omnivorous animal. So if you provide a good amount of probiotic along with the kitchen waste, will certainly help the raise the digestibility. So and it will help in improvement of the body growth. Okay. So and also since this feeding of kitchen waste encourages some diseases which are foodborne. Okay. Also will prevent by adding some immunomodulators. Next slide. So as in when you want to introduce kitchen waste in your farm and you don't want to smell in your farm, then that cleanliness is very, very important in the, because when you keep on adding kitchen waste on the floor or wherever you want to put, it develops some sort of slippery nature. Okay. And over which again and again, if you're trying, one day it will so happen that cleaning of that part becomes very difficult. And the same animal slips, once they slips, because of that heavy body weight and short leg nature of the pig will lead to a breakage of hoof, and such animals will not sustain for many days. You need to dispose or cull even before the actual marketing age. So that's why cleanliness with different disinfectants at the right time is very, very important. Next slide. Green feeding. So in the majority of the, what you can say, the European countries, these green feeds are being stored as a silage and then offered to the pig to reduce the cost of rearing. But in India, is the feeding this silage is not so prevalent. However, green fodder can be offered to this pig. So it's a choosy nature. The green fodder like lucerne, or you can say berseem, even the top part of the sugar cane and top part of the maize, they can eat 1 to 2 kg, and it also gives the desirable effect. This not only reduces the cost of rearing, but also it gives the good health. Next slide, please. So health part, again, there was a time where pig don't get much diseases. It was not so, because as and when pig gets some diseases, they used to dispose to the market without any second thought, without any treatment. Since it is a meat animals, you can dispose these animals as and when you wish. Okay. But nowadays you cannot do. If you try to dispose animals as and when animal shows the diseases, then you will be under loss. You cannot take that risk. So you need to treat the animals. So there are some few infectious diseases. So then you need to take care of these infectious diseases by vaccination. Some are those, and if you have a proper first aid treatment, so naturally you can take care. Next, I'll show a few examples. Next slide. Okay, most common disease is swine fever. It is considered to be very dangerous diseases, because as and when there is an outbreak of disease, whole flock will be out. And since if you don't have a practice of vaccinating these animals, then there is no treatment also. Next comes FMD. If your farm is located adjacent to any dairy farms or nearby dairy farms, are there, if there is outbreak, then only you'll see. Otherwise, you don't see this FMD in case of pig. However, if you wish, you can follow the FMD vaccination. HS, again, it's seen not so frequently, but there is no vaccination. What HS we do for the cattle, earlier we used to follow in the piggery farm, but nowadays it is also not protective. That's why we don't recommend. Repetitive abortions, okay, it could be due to PRRS portion, reproductive respiratory syndrome. Anemia, it's again by default, by virtue of this animal nature, you'll see this anemia. So it can be prevented by management practices. prolapse of rectum because of highly variable feeding habits. These piglets show prolapse of rectum. Hernia because of genetic nature, and general wound, mostly the skin due to fight, and wolf due to overweight and slippery floor. Okay. Next slide, please. So as I told you, the most common prevalent vaccination followed in pig reform is swine fever and the top priority. Some people, they followed FMD, HS is not recommended. Okay, next slide, please. So piglet mortality, that's what, as I told you in the beginning, if you go with the hypothetical calculation of having 10 piglets from each sow and yearly twice 20 piglets, it will not happen, because higher the piglet, the probability of survival of this piglet reduces due to so many natures. Okay, so one is mainly due to agalexia, due to absence of milk or less milk in the udder system. Okay, it is what you can say, the reason is unknown, although there are some reasons are very much predicted, but that is one reason. Second is due to stampede by the mother, not by intentionally, unintentionally, because of that allowing the piglets to suckle is a very typical in piglets. Okay, so when it changes position from one position to other position, there is a possibility of stampede by the mother. There also there is a death. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide. So that's why in order to prevent, no, previous slide. So in order to prevent these piglet mortalities, farrowing crates have been introduced, guardrails have been introduced. Okay, there are so many ways, and by means we can prevent the piglet mortality. And this agalexia is again worked out with the artificial milk, but it's one of the, what you can say, never solved problem in case of pig farm. It does not mean that we cannot, we can, but the higher the bigger the farm, more complicated it is. So smaller the farm, more easy it is. So that's why nowadays we don't talk about the number of piglets born, rather we talk about the number of weaned piglets. By the time when we wean separate from the mother, how many piglets are left out, that is considered for the calculation rather than the number of piglets at birth. Okay, so this is one of the crucial, or you can say, period in the pig farm where every energy goes toward this one. If you neglect here, the whole farm will be again a flop show. Next, please. So these are the some of the problems, but some are, you can say, solvable, some are not solvable. Prolapse of rectum, it is very easily solvable by making some managemental change. This hernia, of course, by changing the male, because it is inheritable. So by changing the male, you can think of what, if it is highly pedigreed boar, then you can think of surgical correction of this hernia. Wolf problem, as I told you, if you don't address wolf problem in the beginning itself, naturally it will spoil the whole animal. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. So whenever you keep high density, means in small space, if you keep more number of animals, if you don't go with the calculation, it's fine. But whenever you see such type of symptoms, external injuries, tail biting, okay, ear biting, and also you can say the flank region biting, they are all indicative of a competition for the floor or the feed. It means that you have to reduce the number of, these are the direct indicator of the compromised in the forms. Okay, if you don't go with the calculation of ISA floor space report, at least you can take this issue into consideration. Next, please. Okay, now this is one of the important part. Basically, I wanted to make it this as an important, what you can say, part of my presentation, banking project preparation, because anybody wants to open, first you will ask that, sir, how much money I have to incur, how much profit I get. This is a common question generally asked by the, what you can say, asked by the common people, because he wants to know that whether I can open it or not. As I told you, so there is no thumb rule to say that this is a profitable for you or not. You yourself has to assess the situation, condition, then you put the data into the formula which we have made in the Excel sheet. You can change accordingly. So if you think that if you don't need to spend their money, you can put 0. Okay, that I'll show with the help of Excel sheet. But before going to the Excel sheet, just I would like to explain what are the content of that Excel sheet, because otherwise you may not understand in the Excel sheet. One is herd projection. Okay, herd projection means if you today January 1st, 2021, you brought 100 animals, 100 female, 4 male. Okay, by the end of June, what is the stock of my farm? by the end of this is what are the strength of my farm. Okay, based on that only you can calculate the cost. So that is called herd projection. So for banking project, you have to make herd projection for the 5 years. Okay, that I'll show you with the help of chart. Next is technical assumption. Technical assumption means the breed which you're going to use it, how many it gives us to young one. Okay, what is the mortality percentage? What is the body weight? What is the feed intake? That is called technical assumption. Economical assumptions. Economic assumption means what is the cost of the pig in your area? Okay, what is the cost of ration in your area? What is the cost of labor in your area? So that is highly variable. Okay, that you have to make assumption in the project. Next is calculation of the fixed cost. Okay, it includes the infrastructure. Okay, civil part, or you can say the construction part that you can work out based on the locality. Okay. Next is recurring cost. As I told you, how many piglets you want to dispose in between. Suppose आपको मान लीजिए 100 animals है, आपका by end of July you will get 1 liter. 100 females means आपका 50 animal में एक batch मानते हैं, आपके पास 500 होगा. Out of it 500 you want to dispose 500, 250 animals. Okay. So how much 250 animals you will, by selling how much you will get the profit, and how much cost you have to spend on another 250 animals for another 6 months. Okay, that assumption you have to make. Okay. Last one is financial analysis. Okay, by the end of 5 years, कितना खर्चा आपने एनिमल के ऊपर खर्च किया, कितना एनिमल आप इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के ऊपर खर्च किया, कितना का सेव आपने सेविंग कर दिया. ओके. लास्ट वन इज रीपेमेंट पीरियड. ओके, आपने लोन लिया, कितना पैसा आपको देना पड़ रहा है. By the end of 5 years, whether you could become zero or not. Okay, so this we called as a DPR, detailed project report. Okay, next slide please. Quickly I will tell. Okay, so that I can a little bit spend I can in Excel. So this is herd projection. Just take an example. अगर 100 animal का अगर project बनना चाहते हैं, 100 animals you will not purchase at a time, because housing जो बनाया है, infrastructure you have created for the housing is not for the 100 animals at a time. It is for the 50 animals with followers. With followers means with the young ones और बच्चे के साथ. Okay. इसीलिए all the 100 animals farm आपका project भी होगा, but you will purchase these 100 animals in 2 batches with 3-month gap. Okay. इसीलिए you can see there month January you have purchased 50 gilts. Okay, and after 2 months you bred those animals, then they will become pregnant. Okay, so after 115 days means आपका 4 months what you can say gestation period or pregnancy के बाद, then you will see that these 50 animals will give birth to young one. Okay, अगर एक mother से 11 होगा, that will become 550 piglets. You can see in the chart I have shown that color with color I have shown. Okay, by the time 8th month you can see that it is a 550. By the time you will purchase another stock in the month of April, you can see that 50 gilts in the blue column. Okay, and the same animals they will become lactating or they will give birth to young one in the November. So उसका batch 550, फिर दूसरा red column है. ठीक है. First you try to understand, very simple. It's not like first batch का 550 में 20% mortality हो गया. ओके, अब नीचे भी दिखा है मैंने 10% mortality हमने दिखा दी इसमें, क्योंकि प्रोजेक्ट इजी होने के लिए. 50 एनिमल्स आपके डेथ हो गए, सो यू आर लेफ्ट विद 500 एनिमल्स. और उसमें आपने 2 महीने के बाद 250 यू हैव सोल्ड, सो दैट यू यूज इट एज ए प्रॉफिट. आउट ऑफ 250 एनिमल्स जब आप उसको रेयर करेंगे अनदर 7-8 months, उसमें भी कुछ एनिमल मरेंगे. बाय द एंड ऑफ दिसंबर यू सी दे विल बिकम 230 एनिमल्स. सो व्हाई 230 एनिमल्स? बिकॉज 8% mortality हमने दिखा दिया. So 250 minus 20, 230. नीचे आपको दिख रहा है. Okay. Okay, I'll explain in English only. So means what I mean to say is that the 50 gilts which you have purchased in the month of January, so they will become pregnant in the April. They will become lactating in the month of August, and those 550 piglets born out of first batch 50. We presume that 10% mortality, 50 will die. We left with 50. Okay. And the same batch after 250 animals, 500 animals, we will dispose 250 animals at the 50 pigs. Again, you will rear them for another 5 months. And during that part, again, you will see that 8% mortality, you left with the 230 animals. So likewise, there is another batch, okay, which starts later in the month of April. So this is called herd projection. Okay. So whatever the feeding schedule which you want to make or show in the recurring cost, it's based on this herd projection. Okay, it needs little bit of energy. Next slide please. Next slide. Next slide. So this full screen, please. Is it full screen, Kaushik? Okay. So this is called technical parameters. Okay. The sow which you are going to purchase, they are called breedable age, 6 to 7 months. 100 you are going to purchase. The number of boars required for 100 animal is 4. And in 2 batches, 50-50, 2 times you will purchase. Between 2 batches, you will make assumption of 3 months. Okay. And from each sow, you will take 2 farrowing. Okay. 2 times you will take the farrowing. And each time you will presume that 11. It may less or more. But for the projects, you have to make some assumption. Okay. And the mortality before weaning, it is 10%. Mortality after 8%. Okay. And weaning period is, weaning means separation of young one from the mother, it's 2 months. Okay. Space requirement, it is a standard. Okay. It's a standard assumption we have made. You can reduce it, you can increase it. But I have given the maximum possible. Okay. So that I have given it. Next slide, please. So this is economic assumption. This is variable from person to person, area to area. Okay. Now cost of boar, I put 8,000. But if you go in the metropolitan cities, if you take gilt, it will not be less than 8,000. It will be more than that also. Okay. Since it is a breedable and since they know that it's a good elite breed, so naturally they will demand more rather than the less. Okay. So cost of sow little lesser than the boar. Okay. So total area required for the building, which I calculate for the 100 sows with boar with followers. Okay. So I calculated this is 10410. Storeroom, small storeroom for the feed purpose. The cost of construction 400. It's a standard actually, but it may go less or more. If you have a little bit of infrastructure or material with you, you can reduce it. If you think that everything has to be produced, it may go more also. Okay. Next, concentrate feed requirement. Okay. So at different ages, I have given taken as a thumb rule. Okay. Breeding stock means adult stock. I mentioned 2.5 kg, weaner 0.3 kg, fattener like that. So similarly, income I have shown at different values. You can think of different values. Next. So interest rate also I have shown the commercial 12%, margin money standard loan. Okay. So this is investment. Okay. Investment first year after there will be 2 investment. One is what you can say the housing and as also cost of rearing. Both will be included in the first year. Okay. So, but if you take the fixed cost means it is mainly on the building and other infrastructure development, including the purchase of the animals. So based on the economic assumption in the previous slide, so we have worked out and these are the values. So these are the values are variable. It can change depending upon the situation. Okay. Next slide, please. This is for the fixed cost. That is housing and animal. This is the recurring everyday rearing. Okay. So you can see the first point, only try to understand the first. Breeding feed cost concentrate. Okay. We made assumption of 2.5 kg per pig per day. Okay. So now it is coming 82550. How? 52 batch. Okay. Into 365 days. Okay. First batch that will be with you for all the 365 days. And each animal will consume 2.5 kg. Okay. And additionally, another 52 batch which you are going to purchase after 3 months. But they will be with you only 270 days because you have purchased 4 months late into 2.5 kg. And that is coming 82550. And the cost of each feed, I have put 15 rupees and total cost is coming. You can see it. Okay. So likewise, you can think of each and every element. Here it's the insurance cost or cost of medicine or miscellaneous expenditure, whatever it could be. So all will be considered for the recurring cost for the first year. Only first year cost, 15% will be the margin money that you have to bear it, and rest 85% will be by the bank. Okay. Next, please. So this is for the first year income. Okay. So likewise, we have calculated for the First year only it is variable. Second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, it will be same. First year only it is variable. Okay. So next slide, please. This is for second year. The cost again it varies from the first year, because first year may you have purchased the 100 animals in 2 batches. So that's why one batch was for the 270 days. But here all the 100 animals will be for 365 days. Along with you will also include the piglets which you are going to retain. So that also will come into the cost of rearing. Okay. So that's why second year to fifth year it's more or less it remains same. Next, please. So this is the income for the first year also, second year also, but first year I did not discuss. But here you see the sale of piglets. What I told you, half of the piglets will dispose immediately after 2 months. Okay. And the rest of the stock you will dispose after the becoming the fattener. Okay. So both the animals are included as a sale as a piglets as a fattener. Additionally, gunny bag and manure I have put only a small quantity, only for the sake of showing an income. Otherwise, again, I told you it may vary from place to place. Next, please. So this is a financial analysis. Probably it may not be required by you all. Okay, it's a what you can say calculated value only. Again, it is depicted in the Excel. Let us not spend much time on this. Next slide, please. Okay, this is a repayment. See what happens ultimately, you want to know that what loan I have taken, whether I will be able to repay it back. It has to be, because you see loan balance by the time 5th year, it should be 0. It should be 0. Then only this card is a banking project. Okay. After that, after paying the your all the dues, then the surplus should be profitable. Then only you'll take it as a profitable business. But this is a very difficult question. Okay. It's a difficult question. Next slide, please. I'll explain with that another slide. Next slide. Okay, so bank consider previous slide. Bank consider your project is a feasible or non-feasible, sustainable based on this NPV, net present value. Suppose if they give 10 lakh to you, you pay it in 5 years, and what you incur like 15% margin money, you invest on that one. Okay, after 5 years, though you may get good amount, whether the what invested 5 years back, whether that value anticipating today after 5 years, what you're anticipating, whether it is really a actual value or not, that we call it as a net present value. So 10 rupees ka value after 5 years hoga, it will not be a same, it will be lesser than the 10 rupees what value you have today. That's why it's called NPV. Internal rate of return, whatever the investment we have made, how much is basically a type of a calculation assumption the bank people make to okay the project or not to okay the project. Okay, and this IRR, they will make a project only a comparison, not project by itself. Okay, per se. They have 2-3 projects in their hand. They want to through only one project, then they see the internal rate of return by comparing 2-3 projects. Okay, then benefit cost ratio, it is very clear. If I invest 100 rupees, how much I get. Okay, so these are the 3 measurable financial measurable parameters for the banking people. However, they all depend on you only, because they don't know the technical part, they know only financial part. So you need to give the input to make your project, banking project viable. Okay, so this is a banking project. Just I'll show with the help of Excel sheet just immediately after my presentation. Next slide, please. Next slide. So IBRA has developed a mobile app. You can download it. Even you have a 10, 20, 50, 100 animals project also available in this mobile app. The brief information already has been given in the mobile app. You can very well download in your mobile through Google Play Store. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide. These are the 2 links I have given, both pig farming, 13 minutes video. I have put it in the YouTube. You can watch later also. Okay. So these are the 2 links, part 1, part 2. So as and when time finds, you can share it. Okay. Next slide, please. So this is my conclusion. Just before my concluding, just I want to unshare this one so that I'll Excel sheet. I'll spend only 5 minutes. Since I'll be sharing that Excel sheet, you can very well work out and later you can ask me the question. Just for the sake of 5 minutes, I want to discuss that Excel sheet. Kaushik, can you unshare? I'll share this Excel sheet. Thank you. Is it visible? Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay. So I will not take much time here. Just you can see whatever the things I have shown in the presentation, the same thing has been. Suppose if you want to make it for 50 animals, certainly all the parameters will change in the end. Okay. So now I made different color. One is the technical parameters. Okay. Second is economic parameters. Another is fixed investment, then recurring cost. So if you want to make 100 animal project, you can make 120, but this project cannot be used for the 10 animals because technical assumptions and economical assumptions are directly related. When you open 10 animals project, other expenditures will become meager. It will not be a typical commercial venture where labor will become zero. Many things will become zero. That's why don't use this project for 10 animals. You can make it 120, 110, 75, 85, you can make it. Okay. This change, that liberty is there. So here, suppose mortality is there. I have mentioned here 10%. Okay, pre-winning mortality. If you think that I can reduce it, you can make it 8%. It all depends upon your capacity. If you think that space requirement, I want to increase it, you can increase it. So if you increase here, by default, the calculation will change in the subsequent table. So this is not technical parameter is not much variable, but certainly economic parameters are visible. Okay. Suppose here the cost of bore I put 8,000 rupees. You can change it. 9,000 you can change it. 10,000 you can change it. Okay. Similarly, green fodder cost I put 2 kg per animal. So you can, if you think that you don't have a provision for the green fodder, you can put 0 kg here. Okay. If you think that concentration, the ration cost is I put I think 18 rupees. You think that still I can manage it 15 rupees, you can change it. Okay. Similarly, if you think that labor cost, I put 300 rupees per day for 30 days. If you think that I don't require any labor, I got my own labor, I want to involve myself, you can put it 0. I put 3 labors here. I showed for this 100 project. I showed 3 labors. You think that I did only 1 labor, you can change it. So like that, you can change in this Excel sheet and you can work out accordingly. Okay. So here you see the recurring cost. I do particularly this cost, I want to show it, feeding cost. So here concentrate. If you see this value, here calculation, you can see C2 plus C3 multiplied 365 days. So these calculation by default, they change on its own by changing the economic parameters and technical parameters. Don't try to change here. If you try to change here, everything will spoil. If you understand the calculation, it is fine. If you don't understand the calculation, then don't change it anything. Okay. Similarly, insurance cost I put here 6% I put. If you wish, you can manage lesser than, more than, whatever you think, you can change it. Okay. Labor cost already I told you 300 rupees I put, you can change it. Okay. So likewise, you can change miscellaneous cost, everything you can change as per your requirement. So this is a recurring cost for the first year. As I told you, it is variable. For second year to final year, 5th year, it is same. That's why it's another cost. Okay. In the end, repayment schedule. So this is the repayment schedule. Okay. Per month income, you can see this is the ultimately DCC value for you. As and when you change the value, here everything it changes. Okay. Per month, you can make it. So here also, you can see IRR value, benefit cost ratio, NPV value will change accordingly. Okay. So this Excel sheet, you can change it accordingly, and I'll share it with Kaushik. You can get the later. Okay. So with this, I conclude my presentation. So you can ask questions if you have any specific. Otherwise, you can take my mobile directly. You can contact also. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to discuss on this issue.
Thank you very much, Dr. Manjunath Patel. We have listened to a very scholastic and informative talk on pig farming from you. Your talk covered advantage of pig farming and also disadvantages and different system of pig farming and how one can venture into pig farming as an enterprise. Then another very important part of your talk was the preparation of project proposal for banking, then cost benefit ratio and everything you explained. In fact, it was a very informative talk. Now On behalf of KSTA, Navik and Nivedi, thank you very much. Now there is time for question and answer. I request my colleague from Navik, Mr. Shrikant Patra, Business Manager, to take over and please ask questions that our participants have asked. Over to you, Dr. Shrikant.
Thank you, sir. So we are taking one by one questions from the comment box of the participant. The first question is, sir, is it possible to develop an orderless pick production system?
It is possible, but the cost is very, very high. As an exemplary, only the Uttaranchal government on its own, they have started this odorless pig farm near Kashipur. That is what you can say, what is this? For easy understanding, you can say that near Nainital, almost 90% is finished, but due to some reason, it could not be launched. But otherwise, creation of odorless pig farm is a very, very difficult task and highly cost involved. For a commercial venture, it is not required.
Okay. So next question is, sir, can you enlighten us with the information regarding available schemes, grants or loan on pig processing unit?
Okay. So there are two parts. One is schemes and subsidies related to animal farms. Another subsidies and schemes related to processing plants. Okay, these are two different issues. So for processing plants, my friend Girish Patil recently told me that he can help because he is in need of such people who can explore the preparation of byproduct. Okay, I also taking two people from Bangalore also. Only thing is that there are some terms and conditions, because when it comes to scheme and subsidies, there is the attachment of either some cost or what you can say, some locality or underdeveloped area, something will be there. Okay, so on their own, full-fledged, you don't get any scheme or subsidies, but there are some development schemes will be there. Certainly will be there. Certainly, I can give Girish contact, so he will help you in the with respect to launching of scheme with respect to product processing. Okay, but as far as schemes related to piggery farming, it is desirable to ask the veterinary officer who are located in the local area, because it is highly variable from state to state. And all subsidiary schemes are only for the small farms, like 10 farms, 5 farms, wherein they will give 50% or they will waive off the insurance for 5 years, something like that. Otherwise, all this large venture means only the reduction in the insurance, or you can say you will get the rebate in the interest. Okay.
Sir, does government provide pure line breed for pigs, or where I can get pure line breeds?
Basically, the establishment of government farms only to provide elite breeds only. Okay, that All India Coordinated Research Project, basically it was meant to provide the supply of the what you can say elite breeds only. So for which only they have been established. But only thing is that they are not in a position to supply all. Okay, so now in this there are two concepts. One is supply of elite breeds. Another is supply of the young ones for the commercial venture. Okay, so if you take the land race, Kerala Manuti farm is there, KLDB farm is there. I'm not specifically telling that pinpointed particular farm, because they are variable from situation to situation. Okay, if you take land race, again, Ivere farm will provide you. Okay, Yorkshire means many Northeast government farm, including state government. Okay, not only ICR, including state government. I can give the list of the farms who can supply the different breeds. Okay, from the different region. Not all breeds are available at one place, but predominant breeds are Landrace, Yorkshire, Berkshire, Duroc, and Hampshire only.
Okay. Sir, can you guide us what is the export potential for pigs, pig and value-added products?
Export potential probably by now it is not possible. At least at this situation it is not possible. Because surplus is so much here itself, demand is so much, so there is no question of going outside. If at all, if it has to go only to the Nepal, not even any other neighboring states, because already there are so many hurdles are there in this.
Okay. Sir, can you use fish oil in preparation of animal feed for pigs?
I could not get. Can you repeat this question?
Sir, can we use fish oil in the preparation of animal feed for pigs?
Yes, it is highly recommended. It is highly recommended use of fish oil, because fish oil. Okay, so rather we expect that when we prepare the creep ration, we call it as a creep ration. Creep ration is generally provided from first month to the animal weighing body weight of 45 kg. It is called a typical potential growing period, wherein it requires essential amino acids to a greater extent. Okay. So when you add fish oil into the pig ration, it is a boon to the pig ration actually. Only thing is that cost goes very high.
Sir, what is the probability of PCV2/PRRS infection in large farms?
Can you repeat?
Sir, what is the probability of PCV2/PRRS infection in large farms?
Of course, actually one slide I missed it. There are two parts. One is this PRRS, okay, and Sarcovirus. Both are, as per my knowledge, I'm not sure that majority of the farm already carrier for both. So that's why, if at all, if you want to get any stock, so ensuring these free of these two issues is very, you could say, challenging, but it is inevitable. Provided if you have a good biosecurity, this can be handled. Because where this vaccine is also available, only thing it has to be imported. So once we tried at Ivory also to implement this vaccine also at our farm, due to some, what you can say, the policy matter, we did not do it. Otherwise, already private companies are supplying vaccine for this also, but it's so costly only.
Sir, what is the future of organic pig farming?
Organic pig farming.
Yes.
Organic pig farming, I cannot tell that it's a great future because people still, their dilemma in eating pork. So thinking of going for the organic pork, probably the customers will be very few. But in the last, the mandate of IVR also has recommended to make one exemplary organic pig farm at IVR headquarters also. Still we are in the process of implementing, not yet started basically because of this reason only. Otherwise, certainly there is a scope, but clients will be less, no doubt.
One participant has asked question, what is the medicine for piglet diarrhea?
So when you ask, tell piglet diarrhea is one of the reason for the piglet mortality also. So now when it comes to diarrhea, reason could be 3 or 4. Whether it is simply a digestive disturbance due to over drinking of milk, it is possible. Or sometimes if you offer concentrate suddenly to the piglet, which are already lactating or suckling, and suddenly if you offer creep feed, so naturally there is a possibility of diarrhea, which can be appreciated without change of fecal color. Okay. But you'll see the typical frequent defecation in the piglet. So in that case, simply antidiarrheal, that is loperamide, will work out excellent. Okay. So if it is a bacterial origin like Salmonella or E. coli, which are again a predominant cause for the piglet mortality, where you will see the change of color, either whitish or yellowish. If it is a whitish, certainly you have to go for the antibacterial drugs. Okay. So which is mostly amoxicillin and toxicillin we prefer. Okay. Otherwise, even sometimes the parasitic cause, so coccidiosis also is one of the reason. So that's why whenever we doubt for all the 3 reasons, or we are not in a position to anticipate the probable reason, we go for combination of both the drugs. That is 3-care bolus we generally give. Okay, which take care of antibacterial as well as this parasitic. Okay, that will take care of this piglet diarrhea. But judicious use is very much important. Keep on, if you give these problems, then later it will lead to consequences. That's why we go for simply anti-diarrheal drugs. So that is Dipendal-M, that is metronidazole combinations. It will work out excellent.
Sir, 3 participants have raised their hands. As we are running out of time, I will just ask Dr. Padmaja Bioprobe to ask a question. Ma'am, you are unmuted. Please go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Kaushik. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, we have produced the organic-based fish oil, especially for pig industry, sir. The 2 products, fish oil and fish protein hydrolysate. So we have given this fish oil for piggeries units in Channapatna and Kanakpura Taluk, sir. And
Okay.
we have found exceptional responses from the farmers in terms of the weight gain, good digestion, overall health, and in lactating mother and pregnant mother also.
Mm-hmm.
So our cost of fish oil for pig is rupees 800 per liter, inclusive of GST, and liquid fish protein hydrolysate is rupees 100 per liter. So my question is whether our product price is economical or competitive, and if so, where can we find the product market customers, sir? target customer?
Madam, actually, to be frank, like inclusion of oil in the pig ration, generally we recommend 2 to 3%. Even if you recommend edible oil of good quality, it will cost, now it is 183 to 200 rupees. So when you replace this edible oil with fish oil, naturally, in addition to the increment of biological value with respect to energy level,
Yes,
it
sir.
also provided all the essential amino acid. I expect that it should give desirable. But when you say 800 rupees per liter, so it will certainly affect the cost of the feed. This one point.
Yes.
Unless the end user of that particular farm, if he gets a remunerative price for that type of product, then he is happy to use 800 rupees per liter.
Yes, sir.
Or otherwise, personally, it's not possible to recommend the fish oil to the pig ration of all the category. Only I can recommend this fish oil, let it be 800 rupees. I can certainly recommend for the creep ration, which is 100% they get it back. Because if they lose one piglets due to some infectious source before 2 months, they will lose almost 3,500 to 4,000 rupees.
Yes, sir.
And if you include your fish oil in that creep ration, certainly it will boost the immunity. So, and even if one pig does not die by virtue of inclusion of your oil, certainly you will be benefited. But I don't recommend this fish oil in the grower or this fattener ration. Okay. Certainly this can be taken as a good inclusion in the creep ration.
But ours, it's like, sir, you said like vegetable oil, it's 3%, but our inclusion is 0.4%, sir. I mean, 250 ml in 50 kg of the hotel waste where we have used, sir. So still we want to know what will be the economic price, like if you can suggest us, we can just work on the cost, sir.
Yes, I can work out. Now your oil will be more like a supplement rather than the energy value, because oil we recommend as a energy value. But you are, suppose if you say 250 ml per kg per quintal means it will be a small quantity. Certainly we can use it as a supplement rather than one of the ingredient.
Yes, sir.
Just like what you use it as a micro minerals, macro minerals and mineral mixture use it. So like that your oil can be recommended as a one of the supplement. Certainly I'll work out, madam.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Sir, and what about liquid fish protein hydrolysates, sir? Can it be, it's 100 rupees.
That certainly it has to be worked out. I cannot tell directly, but it has to be worked out.
Yes, sir. Sir, can we meet you in person? Can we meet you in person, sir?
Oh, yes, no problem. I can give.
Padmaja ma'am, we will share the sir's details, and for all the participants, we will share contact details and email address of Dr. Manjunath sir. You can directly drop the questions to him, or I can address it to Navik. We will also address this thing.
Yes,
as we are running out of time, we are cutting short the question and answer session. Now I request Dr. Ramesh sir to proceed ahead, please.
Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Manjunath Patel, for this very informative and insightful talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Very much on behalf of KST and Navik and Nivedi. Now I request, thank you, Mr. Shrikant Patra, for conducting this Q&A session. Now I request our distinguished scientist and esteemed director of Nivedi, Dr. B.R. Shom sir, for his closing remarks and upcoming opportunities. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Patel, and I said, it's one of these things, I want to tell everybody, Dr. Patel is one of the essential part of Nivedi and our friend for a long time. And so beautiful, down to earth person. Anyone who feels that there is some more information, something is required on this or any venture, can get in touch with him. He's a down to earth person, always helping. The way he's been helping our institutions the same way, he will be helping all of you. Thank you very much. I have seen your complete these things, presentation. It is so nice, so much of learning for me too. And I'm sure that there will be many people who will be interested to know more. And then, since it is the concluding this thing of your total Empower series with KSTA, we are grateful. The Nivedi is grateful to KSTA for extending the support, joining hands and taking together Professor under the leadership of Professor Appan. There are very interesting topics, 10 topics that was covered right from IPL management to pig farming today. And whole thing is in registration was 11,000 plus for this. I think that's a very, very well designed. I'm sure that our team, listening from Navik, is getting in touch with many interested people. Those are queries and addressing those things. Two more program. Formally, I'm sure that our relationship and the joining and studying together with the KSTO will continue in whatever program they KST is programming or the NVD's program. NVD is soon going to start two new programs under AVI, Novice and Nexus. So I look forward that newer opportunities for the program. In addition, of course, that as you know, I see these things, Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav for this till next year, July. So we'll have series of weekly programs, and many of them with seminar or physical or online and online training, or maybe Gostis interface. So there are various areas that will be there will be institutional program. Many of such programs will come back to you. These things, the KST and let us take forward jointly. And what is encourages a lot these things, the whole Navik KSTA program. I've seen the huge registration and participation. That's very, very encouraging. And the speakers really these things, maybe they're all around us, but many times these things we rediscover them and so beautifully they present and ready to help all the time. Extremely, I see a very good opportunities in future. These things, thank you, Dr. Ramesh. We are grateful to KST and Professor Ayappan sir in particular, and the whole team of yours. And we look forward to work together on these things. Once again, thanking Dr. Patel.
Thank you, sir.
Our very good friend. I feel proud really to tell. So nice you are, and all participants for taking things. Please get in touch, whatever queries you are having to our team or Dr. Manjunath Reddy or Dr. Manjunath Patel directly, so that you are benefited. So if you any additional information connection is required, our team will be always there to support. Thanks to our Navik team, Dr. Satish Shivachandra, PI and CEO, whole his team of workers and KSTA. Once again, thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your closing remarks and also for providing an insight into the future programs that KSTA and Nivedi Navik would organize together. Very grateful to you. Now, on behalf of Navik, Nivedi, and the KSTA, I would like to propose vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Ayappan, Chairman KSTA, Chancellor, Central Agriculture University, immensely for his encouragement for organizing, for encouraging us to join hands with Navik and Nivedi in organizing this Empower series. Thank you very much, sir. I'm very grateful to the respected director of Nivedi, Dr. B.R. Shom, sir, for guiding us right from the beginning in the successful organizing of this Empower series. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of KSTA, very grateful to you. I'm also very thankful to our esteemed CEO of Navik, Dr. Satish Shivachandra, sir, for planning and organizing this very successful Empower series program right from the beginning and the successful organization. Thankful to you, Dr. Satish, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to thank all the senior scientists of Navik and Nivedi for their excellent support for this Empower series. I am also thankful to Dr. Yogesh, in fact, who he contacted us first for joining hands with Navik. Thank you, Dr. Yogesh. I would like to thank our young colleagues from Navik, Mr. Shrikant Patra and Mr. Kaushik, and also my colleague, Mr. Umesh, for their excellent coordination of this program. We look forward to your continued support for future programs as well. I am grateful to participants from different parts of the country, and we look forward to your participation in our future programs as well. In the coming days, KSTA will be privileged to join hands with Navik Nivedi in organizing many of such agri-entrepreneurship trainings, workshops, and even small conferences and seminars together. We look forward to you, sir, for your guidance and help. We look forward to the many more such future programs in association with Navik. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you everybody for this wonderful wonderful program. Thank you.
Thank you.